So we made an OP dagger, but can we make an OP bow for master mode? So I have a few ideas, and I also have some things to show you. So, all right, the first thing is we have to do a basic damage test. Just shooting a target with an enchanted bow. So we want to go for a nuke. Now, marksman has a pretty low attack rate, so it's not going to nuke down as quickly as other things. But it does still function. All right, so it took us like 6 or 7 shots there to kill. So what is this bow? So this bow, I just called it Lightning Surge. It's a Guild Wars 1 skill. All right, so Soul Trap 1, shock damage 10, weakness to shock 3, weakness to magic 3. Now the element can be fire, it can be frost, it can be shock, doesn't really matter. But it seems like 3 seconds is kind of like the sweet spot for killing, like ramping, because the bow has such a low attack rate that in order to keep the ramp sticking and in order to actually use the weapon, you have to have at least, like, I would say 3 seconds. Now there is a way to speed things up though. So let's see if I can pull this off. Mechanically, this is actually very difficult. I did try 1 second, and I don't think it's physically possible unless you shoot at point blank range, which even then it might not be possible. But let's try 2 seconds. So same thing, but 2 seconds. The reason you want 2 seconds is the ramp effect is very expensive for enchanted items, so you have way more uses. So in order to pull this combo off for 2 seconds, you have to shoot, immediately hit the radial button, and then you can shoot again pretty quickly. It does look like it's ramping. All right, so this is a higher skill version of the build. I don't think 1 second is possible. I can try to push for it. So if we actually look at the bows themselves, we have Lightning Surge, which has 30 uses. And essentially you can just shoot this normally as long as you keep landing shots. Now, obviously, if you miss a single shot, you're gonna lose your ramp. So this is reasonably difficult to use, but unlike with a dagger nuke, you don't have to be next to anything. So if you're good at leading shots, if you're good at landing attacks with the bow, this can be pretty decent. And then for the other bow, we had slower fire, which is on 2 seconds. Now I called it slower fire because I made this rapid bow that I don't think functions, but we can try to get it to. So slower fire, soul trap 1, 5 points of damage, weakness for 2 seconds. So you can't miss a single shot with this. You have to use radial cancel in order to ramp it. And you have to shoot something at least like 6 to 7 times in order to kill, which isn't bad because it has 47 uses. Whereas with the Lightning Surge bow, it's definitely more like beginner friendly. You don't have to do radial cancel. You can't miss a single shot though. So every single arrow has to hit in order for this ramp to function. So it's definitely not very forgiving overall, but this is a way to make bow without any help from like actual spells you're casting pretty good. Now for this rapid fire bow, this has way more uses because it only has 1 second, but I don't think it's possible, but we'll still try it. I think the fastest you could shoot is like that. So here's rapid bow. Let's see if we can get a kill on a 1 second bow. Shit, I already messed up. Let's keep going. I don't think it's possible. The minimum amount of time to draw is pretty extreme. So it's probably over 1 second to do this, no matter what. So I don't think you can do a 1 second bow. Maybe with perfect execution you can barely do it, but it doesn't seem to be the case. So 2 second bow is the option for shooting things with radial cancel, and 3 second bow is decent for not doing that. So what other types of bows could we possibly make? Unfortunately, it's really difficult to get ramp effect in a weapon itself. So like if we wanted to do like some kind of long duration ramp, that's actually not an option. The highest you can get is like 6 seconds. So if we wanted to have a bow to like do an opening shot ramp of like 10 to 15 seconds, you just literally can't do that unless you reduce the magnitude. It's like 50% or something, then you could probably get it. I guess the last thing to test would be like elemental nuke, but I have a feeling that the debuff cost on the bow is going to be way too extreme to even do that. But we'll try it anyways. See what we can get away with. It's probably going to cost way too much magic. Let's just do 3 of each damage type. Because we're ramping, so that's 9 damage total. And then we have to do weakness to everything. I guess the minimum duration, this might be possible. If we did like 2 seconds and assumed rapid fire, this might be a huge nuke. This might be the thing. But it would require radial input and weakness to magic. Holy shit, it fits on there. Alright, and then Soul Trap 1. I can't believe this fits, dude. All these effects that have 31 uses. Alright, Chaos Bow equipped. Summon a dude. Damn. How many uses was that? I think 6. 6 shots to kill Daedroth, so probably 7 to 8 to kill bigger targets. You know, we want Soul Trap 1, so that's kind of like a needed thing. So Soul Trap 1, then we can try the Chaos Nuke. Then Shock. And then we have to do Weakness. So if we wanted to do 3 seconds, I don't think we have enough enchants for that. We might. This would be usable without the rapid fire, without the canceling. It might barely be possible. It is. Alright. So the weakness stack is all the elements before the magic, then the damage goes first. And we have the damage plus the Soul Trap. More forgiving. You still have to land every shot. So don't think that you're off the hook. Like this is still a high skill thing. Let me drop all these daggers. All this random crap. Spawning it in. I'm fine with using console commands for testing purposes, but I don't use it in game, obviously. So let's equip this new bow. More forgiving bow. Okay, so we make a dude. That's 3 shots, 4 shots, 5 shots, 6 shots, dead. That's not bad. So if you want something that doesn't require radial canceling, I think this is the bow. I think we figured it out. So Soul Trap 1, all points are all damage sources for elemental, 3 points, 1 second, and then weakness for 3. So this, you have to land every single shot. You have to land 6 consecutive shots to kill. But if you play Archer and you're used to like landing shots, it's really not that bad. Considering that you don't have to get up close and you're basically safe for most of the fight. Especially if you get a paralyzed proc. It's honestly pretty easy to use. And then it Soul Traps. So depending on if you want to be reliant on radial cancel or not. Now if you do the radial cancel, you have more uses, but there's more chance that it fails. Like if you get a single miss input on a radial cancel, you're gonna basically mess up your ramp. The final bow to test is a suggestion someone recommended for a dagger nuke. So I do like to test things you guys recommend. So we're gonna try Drain Health Nuke. And essentially what the idea is you ramp just weakness to magic. We'll do 3 seconds just to play it safe so I don't have to do radial cancel. We'll just call this Drain Nuke. So this is the idea, you ramp weakness to magic consecutively and then you kill with Drain Health. We're gonna see how much damage this is, so if it's a lot, that could be huge. But in the past when I've experimented with Drain Health, the results were kind of middling, so we'll see. Okay, we have Drain Nuke equipped, we have Perfect Amber Arrows, which are not enchanted, and all we have to do now is summon a thing and shoot it, and see how many times it takes to kill, how many shots. So shot 1, shot 2, shot 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 shots to kill. So it's less efficient than an elemental nuke or a chaos nuke. So in conclusion, the best bows for just raw damage are single element ramp, 2 seconds if you're rapid firing with radial cancel, 3 seconds if you are not, or a chaos nuke. Now I think single element is optimal because it has more uses and it consumes less charge per shot, whereas chaos can be good because it should in theory get you more damage faster, but the breakpoints on the Daedroth were I think both 6 shots for each of them, but against higher level enemies with more health it might be drastically different. So don't take this Daedroth test as like the be all end all. There's definitely going to be enemies that will absorb or reflect parts of your nuke and will require you to shoot them probably upwards of 10 times. And especially if you're just like shooting a Zivilite, it just keeps absorbing your ramp. A single ramp absorb could completely break the chain for this build. So it's definitely safer to cast longer duration ramps with spells and then shoot with an enchanted damage bow than to have the bow be the delivery system itself. Because unlike with Dagger, which just keeps spitting out rapid debuffs plus the elemental damage, the bow's attack rate is quite low by comparison. So that is it for this one. Definitely like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, found this useful, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.